So, good evening. This is the Underhill Development Review Board hearing for Monday, October 27th, 2025. We have an application before us, DRB docket number 2508 by Santiago Simbaina. This is a site plan review on his application for proposed construction of a development road on land he owns at 22 Park Street, parcel code PA 022J. This property is located in the Underhill Flats Village Center zoning district in Underhill, Vermont. This application is subject to review under the current regulations of the 2011 Town of Underhill Unified Land Use and Development Regulations as amended through March 3rd, 2020, and the 2015 Underhill Road Driveway Trail Ordinance as amended December 18, 2018. Site plan review is intended to ensure that the site layout, development design are functional, safe, attractive, and consistent with the purpose and character of the districts in which the development is located. Standards specifically relate to the internal layout of the site, its physical design, and the function and visual integration of the site with adjoining properties, uses, and infrastructure. Should additional information be required, the board reserves the option to continue the hearing to a time and date certain for that information to be submitted and reviewed by the board. So members of the DRB that are here tonight, to my left is Brian Birch. Next to him is Craig Leach. Across the table is Matt Chapik. Karen McKnight next to Matt. And it says you're acting. You haven't been appointed yet?
I'm always going to be acting.
You're always acting?
Yeah.
Our acting zoning administrator.
That's how it is.
Our acting zoning administrator, Meyer Holmes. All right. There's no public in attendance, and there's no members of the public online, right? Okay. And there are no municipal representatives other than acting zoning administrator Maya, present and acting in their municipal capacities. So the rules of procedure that the board follows, as well as an interested party information sheet, are available to all attendees for review on the town's website and can also be obtained from Maya. Only those interested persons who have participated either orally or through written statements in the DRB proceeding may appeal a decision rendered in that proceeding to the Environmental Division of the Vermont Superior Court. If you're an applicant or a representative of the applicant or an interested party who wishes to speak, we ask that you clearly state your name prior to speaking. We also want your mailing address and your email too, if we don't have that. We'll now swear in all those present who wish to speak tonight regarding the application. All individuals in person and online who plan to testify must take the following oath by responding, "I do," at the end of the statement. And the statement says, "Do you hereby swear that the evidence you give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury?"
I do.
Okay. Are there any conflicts of interest or have there been any ex-party communications on part of any of the board members?
No.
Nope. Okay. So in the hearing process tonight, the board will hear from the applicant or his representatives, then the acting zoning administrator, Maya Holmes. Generally what happens, there's a free-flowing discussion among the board members during your guys' testimony. If the public up here would give the public an opportunity to speak, then the applicant would have an opportunity to redirect, and then we'd solicit final comments to everybody. Members of the board will have an opportunity to ask final questions, and then we'll close the hearing. So all speakers should address their comments to the board, not to other parties present at the meeting. Members of the public are 45 minutes, unless by request the majority of the board consents to extend the time. The board may ask questions of anyone in attendance to discuss the application. The information package that the zoning administrator described prior to tonight's hearing will be entered into the record now. Materials included in the package on the town's website are.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
This is Santiago.
Nice to meet you.
Brian,
Nice to meet
this
you.
is the only guy who didn't need it.
Yes.
So the materials included in this package on the town's website and are listed as follows: Exhibit A through Exhibit J. And we didn't receive any additional exhibits, right?
That is correct.
So these exhibits are available in this Simbaina Access and Site Plan Review file, GRB 2508, parcel code PA 022J, in the Underhill Planning and Zoning Office, and are also by request on the town's website. So we'll begin testimony by first hearing from the applicants or their representatives. that you, Brian?
Yep.
Okay.
Brian Courier, O'Leary Burksville Associates, representing Santiago Simbaina. So this is a proposal we talked about inside, but it's primarily within the town of Jericho. There was a 4-lot subdivision approved in 2020 under Jericho's form-based code regulation. So as part of their form-based code regulations, it's more of a prescriptive model where they dictate things like an alleyway street type, minimum lot size, maximum lot size in this case. So you'll see the 4 lots that are being subdivided. 3 of them include will be residential uses. One of them is a septic lot, and the intent there is to fit neatly into this form-based code regulation. Why we're here tonight is the front 15 to 20 feet of the parcel is within the town of Underhill. So our understanding is that the town is treating the part of the piece in Underhill as a existing or pre-existing small lot, and any such changes to that small lot required here be approved. So the proposal is to shift the existing curb cut that is more or less in the middle, but certainly more to the northwestern side of lot 1, which is the one fronting Park Street. It's to shift it to the southeast on the parcel to create a straight roadway or straighter roadway with what was approved with Jericho. So that also includes a municipal water connection on Park Road as well. We saw where the curb stop had already been installed on our site visit today, but the connection hadn't happened. So
The blue stake.
the blue stick, yeah. So it hasn't connected the main yet, but a lot of the line in Jericho has been installed already. We understand that there's conflicting, and in some cases, significantly conflicting standards from town to town. In this case, we have the town of Jericho approved a 12-foot wide alleyway. And in the town of Underhill, serving 5 units, your road ordinance says that our access should be a 24-foot wide road with a 60-foot right of way. Your regulations also say that we should not be any closer than 12 feet to our southeast property line with that access. And we're fine holding 12 feet. As we saw today, there's a pretty significant cedar hedge that would be saved by holding 12 feet. We have to trim some branches, but we're okay doing that. What we'd like the board's consideration for, knowing the holistic scenario that's going on here, would be to consider potentially a lesser road standard to match the alleyway standard in Jericho. We just like to talk with you folks about, potentially something somewhere between 16 and 20 feet, perhaps. Your road ordinance also talks about the curb cut meeting V-Trans standards, the B71 standard, which is 20-foot radii on Park Road. And we're fine doing the 20-foot radii. And the main reason we're looking for a slight reduction for the road width is to transition better to that 12-foot alleyway driveway style or shared driveway style that matches the Jericho form-based code regulations. So there's that piece of it, and then the 60-foot right-of-way. As the 60-foot right-of-way would only go to the municipal line, we would just like the board to consider not requiring that, given the unique circumstance of what's going on here. So the 60 feet would go the 15 to 20 feet until the municipal line, and then it would essentially stop.
So which drawing do you want to do? I have
Yeah.
two site plans
Yeah,
in the package. One's Exhibit J.
the one I'm looking at is Exhibit E,
Exhibit A, that's the one you want to build,
and that one's shown at 24 foot.
but you don't want to build 24 feet.
If the board, that one meets the road standards of 24 feet. I think we're showing 15-foot radii there.
Yeah.
So we would update the radii to 20 feet. And we'd like to have a conversation about reducing the 24 to what we think is more reasonable, somewhere between 16 and 20.
This is Exhibit F.
Is that Exhibit F?
No, Exhibit F is 12 the whole way.
Oh,
So that plan is what is approved in Jericho.
okay.
So exhibit J then, right?
Exhibit J is the
Yes.
review by the engineer.
So, on J, there's like some red text. Who added that? Is that-
The town's engineer.
Oh, okay. Who's the town's engineer?
I don't remember his name.
Is it Tyler?
That sounds, yes,
Okay.
yeah,
Tyler
yeah,
Billings?
that's correct.
So, and we're fine accommodating those comments. Essentially, what they are is, and we talked about this on site, but right now, runoff from Park Road flows to the southeast along the curb line on our side of the street, and we don't want to interrupt that. We don't want that curb line to turn onto our property rather than going to a catch basin that's basically on our southeastern shared line. So the intention would be to, when we abandon the curb cut on the northwest side, would be to install a curb to the existing top of curb height, install a sidewalk to maintain that drainage path in that regard. And then where the new curb cut is, we would pitch the sidewalk, depressed curb, but we pitch it 1%, quarter inch per foot towards Park Road, like the existing access is now, to maintain that drainage path going down that curb line. More or less. That's what
So the new driveway will have the sidewalk will go across the new driveway. It'll just be,
Yeah, so it's a good amount of concrete work. It's basically redoing the whole front of that parcel.
okay. And then that's the catch basin right here that the water will end up at.
That's the one.
Okay. Yep.
Well, I don't think I have that. Well, I don't think I have, but
The one behind it, I did double-sided printing, I was trying to say.
this one, yes, this one, okay. And we're calling this J?
This is exhibit J, it says that right there.
Just above the title block.
Ah,
Sorry, it's small.
okay.
Sorry.
So yeah, these were the town engineer's comments. Do you guys have any issue with those or?
Nope. Nope. I think it's about what I described.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
You got anything you want to bring the board's attention to? Are you guys
I
done with
have-
your presentation?
Yeah.
Okay. We traditionally open up to you, or
Yeah.
if you want to highlight your report for us. that'd be
Yep.
great.
So as we all know, the hearing is for the review of the access and site plan for 22 Park Street and the construction of a new development road serving 4 lots, 3 in Jericho and 1 partially in Underhill, partially in Jericho. I'm going to go through the applicable sections of the land use regulations. The zoning district, it's in Underhill Flats Village Center District, and the proposed project meets the goal for this, the purpose statement for this district. Section 3.2, access. The applicant is proposing closing an existing curb cut and creating a new curb cut along Park Street, a Class 2 town highway. The new curb cut is 12 feet from the side lot line, which meets the requirements of this section. Section 3.7, lot, yard, and setback requirements. The lot is non-conforming in both size and frontage, but no dimensional waivers have been requested. The lot was non-conforming lot, section 3.8. The lot was legally in existence at the date of the acceptance of the regulations. An access review must occur concurrently with site plan review, as is the case here. And the lot is non-conforming due to its frontage of 114 feet versus the 150 required feet. Parking, loading, and service areas, section 3.13. No parking is proposed in Underhill. The associated parking is in Jericho. Steep slopes, no steep slopes. Surface waters and wetlands, no surface waters, wetlands, or hydric soils are mapped on the property. Development review, section 5.1. Site plan review is required by section 3.8, the pre-existing non-conforming lot section. Section 5.3, site plan review. The the existing features. The existing catch basin may be affected by the curb change. The applicant should explain, as they just did, how drainage will be maintained. The proposed design supports compact pedestrian-oriented village patterns, which is consistent with the district intent. Vehicle access. The access design complies with the regulations except for lacking a 60-foot right-of-way as required by the road and driveway ordinance, which I will get to in a second. Site circulation. The sidewalk footprint remains unchanged. Circulation impacts are minimal. Landscaping. No landscaping is proposed in Underhill. The board may wish to waive this requirement given the small lot size and constraints. Stormwater and erosion control. The board should condition approval on compliance with the VTDEC low risk site handbook for erosion prevention and sediment control. And information is needed on how the relocated access will maintain catch basin effectiveness. Appendix A, the road, driveway, and trail ordinance. The applicant is proposing eliminating a curb cut, creating another on Park Street. Town access permit has been submitted. The grades meet the 10% slope limit. The curbing height meets the 7-inch requirement as well. The turning radius and cross sections should be clarified. I know they were just stated. And drainage onto the right-of-way requires select board approval. Section 5 of the road ordinance. System capacity impacts are not expected to be significant. However, the select board may request a traffic impact analysis. Because the proposed development road will serve 5 or more residences, a 24-foot wide traveled portion of the road is required. And a minimum right-of-way width of 60 feet is required, but not currently depicted on the plan. Section 6, work within the right-of-way. The minimum right-of-way width, as I just said, for the development road is 60 feet, and approval from the select board for a road name is required as well.
Okay. So just so we're all clear, Maya's report outlines what's required from our ordinance, the 60-foot right away,
Mhm.
and the 24-foot, right?
Yeah.
Road with the curb ready at 30 feet or 20 feet. Right, 20. You guys are pitching us on what?
We'd
You
like
want the
to,
12-foot wide road.
yep, we'd like to see 16 to 20 feet in Underhill.
Okay.
We'll do we would stay with the required 20-foot radii.
Yeah.
And we would forego the 60-foot right of
Because it goes right through the house.
way. No, it's
wouldn't
just,
go
it
to-
only goes for 20 feet
Okay,
and then it stops.
then it stops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically do that.
So we'd have 60 feet for 17
For
and a half feet,
17.
and then we go
Yeah.
down to whatever.
And it stops, yeah. Actually, we'll then go to easement.
So the real question has to do with traffic impact, right? And there's been drawings around that show the lot behind this one with a significant number of units proposed on it. How they're ever going to get that septic for it is still out there.
Yeah,
And there's also plans that have been floating around that show traffic from that development dumping onto Park Street.
Mhm.
Because it's an Underhill Road, but we don't derive any benefits from Jericho tax base.
Yeah.
We are concerned that this, just giving a blanket approval, could potentially lead to an impact in Underhill that we can't pay for. So what's your guys' anticipated vehicle trip end traffic? Do you know? If we just threw 10 trip ends per unit, I'm counting 7 units or 6.
well, we got,
6.
so there's a single family home,
Yeah.
typically AM and PM is about 1-to-1 for a single family.
So ideally trip ends though, right? So
Yeah, but typically impact fees are based on peak trips.
we don't have impact fees.
Okay.
We don't have anything like that. We're just worried about traffic and cars.
Right, okay, but however, whatever discussion you want to go, but
Yeah.
typically traffic would be peak
Yeah,
trips.
yeah.
So we have one single family, a triplex, the ADU.
Yeah.
Which typically isn't hit for those sorts of things. And then a single family in the back. So we have 5 total units,
Yeah.
3 of them being multifamily. And one is an ADU, but typically that isn't included as a unit.
We don't have any traffic standards, so you gotta sell us on what sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, so we're not working on the project in the back.
Right.
Obviously, I understand the one you're talking about.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't know the intricacies, ins and outs of that project.
It's a big project. There's a lot of
Yep.
cars coming this way.
In the most recent layout, were they using our roadway? I don't believe so.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Right.
Your roadway does go all the way to the property, almost. to the
It
property.
does go to the end. It does certainly go to the end.
Like what,
The Jericho form-based code regs require us to terminate at the end of the parcel.
Yeah. So basically,
Oh.
maximum number of AM, PM peak hour trips, total average daily traffic,
Yeah.
We're gonna, if you don't give us a number, we're gonna come up with one, but
Okay.
that's, we're gonna
Yeah.
likely condition approval on that.
Sure, and I'm not certain what the daily trip numbers are.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with ITE enough.
Yeah.
To tell you exactly what the dailies are.
Yeah.
But for the peaks,
For the peaks.
usually it's 1-to-1 for a single family. ADUs typically don't have traffic considerations for them. If you wanted to include one there, that's 2. And then for attached multifamilies, generally you're looking at half a trip per unit. So if there's 3, that's 1.5 typically round up. So that's another 2. So I'm at 1, 2, 4, and then the single family in the back is 5.
So 5 AM, PM peaks. Okay. So we used to do 10 vehicle trip ends per unit.
As
at
a
our-
daily.
Yeah, just total traffic. in
Yeah,
and out,
I'm
right?
sure that's close. I'm sure it's close. I just don't know exactly what that number is.
Yeah, so, the board will come up with a number. If you guys don't want to give us one, we'll come up with
Oh,
one.
it's not that I can't give you one. I just don't want to give you the wrong one.
Yeah.
So,
So 5 AM, 5 PM, is that?
5 in the AM, 5 in the PM.
Are you considering 2-car families or 1? I'm looking at, it seems like you're saying 1.
He's saying 1. We're not buying that.
Yeah,
We're-
okay.
Yeah.
You
Somebody's
gotta do a
saying
better
1.
job of selling us on 1.
Yeah.
no,
And it's
well,
not, so
one-
we're
one
gonna,
is a-
we're gonna say 2.
one is a peak.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's based on ITE standards. It's based on an average. So.
Yeah. But we're still not buying it, so we're probably gonna come up with a bigger number.
Okay.
Which is better,
Which is better for you,
Bigger number.
because once you
Yeah.
don't want to exceed that number.
and we don't wanna see it
Bigger,
again.
it's hard.
Appreciate that.
Right, so, that's our main issue, my main issue with the project, right? And so, I don't mean to speak for the entire board, but you guys got any other concerns, landscape and screening, stormwater? Karen, you're asking a lot of stormwater questions.
Well, I was, because I can remember what it looks like when it floods.
Yeah.
My other concern is, which you opened, and is what happens if, with the road, if the town of Jericho decides that the exit from the big development comes through there.
Well, from my perspective, I can answer that, and you can go ahead as well. But with conditioning on approval on number of daily traffics, that would require an alteration to the permit and come to this board again if that number were to be exceeded,
If you connect.
if it's
Yes.
connected to another development.
Yeah.
So this approval would be for this project as proposed. Any alterations would come before the board again. That is my understanding.
Because it would be a total disaster
Right.
for Underhill if
Yeah.
all those
It would
cars
be-
dumped off and.
Right. It would be a completely different
Yeah.
conversation we're having right now, which is why that review would happen if alterations to this plan as proposed were made.
So procedural, you said the select board, we typically review and recommend approval to the select board. and then they issue you a permit. These guys aren't required to go before them again.
I
Or
believe they would be because any drainage into a town right of way
Right,
requires.
but
select
the
board-
select board typically
board
wants us to
approval.
evaluate that kind of stuff.
Yes. They also need to go for a road name, which
But, yeah.
that's,
Was the application in here? The access application?
yeah, it should be on the back page of, sorry, I did double-sided printing. It might be
Okay.
on the back page of the development review application.
So like as far as drainage goes, like I get like the whole road was drained towards either tapping the basin in Park Road or deliberately bringing our water to Park Road. But in this case, we're talking about tipping the right of way towards Park Road, exchanging it more or less for the right of way area.
I don't think it's a big issue.
No,
Personally,
just-
but
no, I don't either. I just, we don't have to make a trip to the select board.
Right. I believe procedurally it has to go to the select board.
Was the application itself like has to go to them to sign off on?
I don't know how the select board
yeah,
itself
typically what it
works.
does is, well, it was easy when Brad was both the ZA.
Right.
But we would write a recommendation of approval and
Right.
give it to Brad. He brings it to the select board.
Right.
These guys don't
Doesn't
have to
require
come
them
out.
to be there, which
Yeah.
makes sense.
I think it's up to you, but usually I don't think the applicants
It's
go to the
it's not
select
worth the
board.
drive from your office out here.
Right.
You know, so that's we're talking efficiency, right?
Right.
Any other?
So I have a question about the driveway, the 12-foot alley. There's no ditching shown or anything like that. Is it just sheet into the grassway areas, or is there a need for directing water somewhere?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a detail of the roadway. It wasn't applicable here. I don't know if it's included or not.
Hmm.
I think you see the note, the 12 feet wide with 1 foot shoulders. Is that,
I think that
But
matches the
then is
detail.
there like drainage? Or is it just cheating off into the grass? Is it for?
Yeah, it shows it cheating off into the grass. I don't see any ditching here. I don't see grading on this plan. Yeah,
Do you guys need a stormwater permit?
no, we fall under the existing impervious. We can expand up to an acre.
Okay.
And what's the surface of the alleyway gonna be?
It's only 0.24 acres of new impervious.
Which would be under either way. What's the alleyway detail? Is it paved or gravel?
It was either approved by Jericho, was if desired.
you could transition from the curb, the sidewalk to gravel or. to-
Yeah.
back to the-
I mean, it's pretty common for towns wanting pavement within the right of way. You know, we'd be patching Park Road anyway for curb install. That wouldn't be a big deal. Pave within the right of way.
I was just thinking
Oh.
runoff would be more if it were paved. That's
Yeah,
to your question, Matt.
yeah. Stormwater folks will tell you that it's both treated the same, but I understand what you're saying.
They're all new.
Sorry, I said the stormwater folks, not me.
Any final comments? from
So,
anyone or questions?
yeah, I'm just a little bit confused about the actual width that you're asking for 20 or 24 width in 14 foot.
So we're asking for a reduction from 24. We feel a reasonable number is 16 to 20. If you want just a solid number, I think 16 is fine. 18 would meet in the middle, you know. I think 18 would work.
Traffic wise, are pulling out at the same time.
Yeah.
Going in, what's,
Yeah, I mean, a parking spot is 9 foot wide. So if you say 18 with 1 foot shoulders, should be space for 2 cars to pass.
turning?
Yep.
With a turning radius coming on.
20 foot turning radius, yep.
in my review of the regulations, there is no room for any wiggle room for the 24-foot or the 60-foot. Anybody finds anything, I'd love to see it.
Well, so that's if we're calling it a road.
Sorry?
If we call it a road and it's, and
Yes.
the reason it's a road is because that's the serve, it serves 5 units. Okay.
That's right. Those are the requirements for 5 units.
It's weird because those 5 units are in Jericho.
Yep.
So it's like, I wonder, I could kind of see it being almost just something different from a driveway or a road in Underhill.
Well,
So we
it's
could
alleyway.
find there's 1/3 of 1 unit in Underhill.
Okay.
And 1 unit requirement is 12-foot wide, right?
It
Yeah.
does say to serve.
To serve.
Yes.
We don't care what's going on in Jericho. That's how. We can write our decision and not get wrapped around the regs to give these guys what they're looking for, and still protect the town.
But yeah, if these 5 units were in Underhill, I think it'd be,
We'd be required.
yeah,
to
we'd
have-
be required to do that. Since, yeah, that, you know. Now, Brad had a letter that said if, because this lot 1 was partially in Underhill, did he say it had to be reviewed? Lot 1 had to be reviewed, like all of lot 1 under our regulations?
No, so the only thing that Underhill has, that we have control over is the 17-foot
Okay.
strip. It was just, kind of hard to look at. If it were, going to that whole big development back there, it would be important to review.
Yep.
The scope of the whole development although only 17 feet is in.
We can find something like there's a conflict between form-based code that the project was approved under in Jericho
Mm.
and rigid code that Underhill has. And, we can find a way to merge the two to create a aesthetically pleasing functional site plan or something like that.
Yeah.
We can find that way, and then we can give them the permit that way. Somebody could still appeal us, but
Mm.
just thinking out of the box, that's all.
Well, I guess I would, I wouldn't consider it a road in Underhill. I don't know, it's just my take, and so I wouldn't think that it needs a name or a 60-foot right of way, and then the width. I think the width should be something safe. I don't think it should be 12 feet, for a car coming in and out, but
Yeah, you want room for a car to queue up to make a turn out, and
yeah.
a car to pull in and not be in each other's way, because otherwise it's gonna back up onto Park Street.
And I think, if you have the concern is like, the future development hooking on, kind of not making it a road might make that even more reason to come back. I don't know.
Yeah.
Seems like it's a driveway, I'd kind of call it a driveway to the one that's a unit that's like partially.
Yeah.
And I don't know the form-based code well enough to tell you, like, when is an alley not enough? But if it's substantial units next door, I highly doubt they're talking about one access going in.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Just from a commonsensical practice, can't believe that's the case. It would be news to us, for sure.
One way, maybe.
No,
Usually alleys are.
Yeah.
That'll solve the problem, right?
Yeah, as long as it's not one way towards.
But yeah, 10 trips, if that's where you folks land, I think that's 10 peak trips. I think that would be fine for what we're doing.
You want it big enough so that he can do what he needs to
Yeah.
do.
Yep.
But not outrageously big where.
Sure.
we lose
Large
jurisdiction.
neighborhood is accessing from here.
Yeah.
Totally understand.
We were supposed to ask about signs. Is there signage?
No signs were proposed.
Okay.
Those
If
signs
they were
proposed.
proposed, they'd have to meet the rules for a sign.
Yeah.
Like a road sign.
I think you took down your sign, didn't you?
Excuse me?
The old Martel print shop sign, I think it,
It's not there anymore.
yeah, I got it.
But that's also Jericho.
No,
Maybe.
that was another.
It was,
I think
Oh, was
so.
it?
On the
Yeah.
side of the,
That's-
oh, okay, oh, yeah, yeah.
One less sign to keep track of.
This is a silly question, but how does it work now? Does Jericho plow Park Street or does Underhill plow Park Street?
Dark Street, so we plow it.
We
It's
plow it, and then,
Class 2 town highway.
and then obviously, who would
What?
who would plow the alley?
It's private.
Private.
But what about our roads?
Still private,
Still private, so
Yeah.
how do you get?
just like a private
We won't
road.
drop the blade until it gets.
The town's not taking it.
Oh, and then the snow though is gonna have to go, stay in and not come plowing out to the Park Street.
Yeah.
Area.
Plow Snow out to Park Street.
Park-
Do you guys have like
Park
an
Street.
HOA or will there be one for like this?
Yep, shared community septic, so,
Okay.
and the road.
Well,
Yeah.
Now, would we have to see that
Well,
for the
That's
road?
I don't know, they're in Jericho, so,
Except for the beginning of it.
yeah, yeah, that's true. The beginning of it's in Underhill. Could it be conditioned that the HOA just maintain the access?
Yeah, we're gonna have to. I mean, if this was an Underhill, it'd be wider, we'd require a road maintenance agreement, we'd require all of that stuff, bylaws to enforce the road maintenance agreement.
Yep.
We're gonna want to see it, we're gonna require that the HOA do it. I don't think we need it as a condition of permit.
I don't know.
Mm.
We're trying not to make it overly complicated, but we
Yeah.
also,
No, appreciate it.
we're relying on a lot of what Jericho may or may not have asked you guys for.
Yep.
So, but it's, we want to see more housing in that area that's walkable to the stores and
Of course.
that kind of stuff. So it checks a couple boxes for us. We're hoping to do something like this across the way down Harvest Run.
Yeah.
So, you guys' firm has been involved in that for a while.
Yeah.
Stormwater was the issue there.
Yeah.
This pipe dumps into that same ditch,
Yeah.
which is why Karen's concerned about it, because that ditch has no pitch to it and backs up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other thing with the convergence of, what are they calling, the road that goes, it's not Jacob's Way, but, the road that goes to the Jacob's Hill and all of
Harvest
that.
Run.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Harvest, oh, yeah, it's Harvest.
Yeah.
Duh, of course. But what about the traffic converging with this? Isn't it almost across from it? Or is it a little bit down?
They're offset.
They're offset, okay.
It's, look at this plan, it shows where the offset is.
It is, yes. Just thinking.
Children.
This location plan too.
Does the board feel you have enough information to make a decision on the application?
Yes.
I do.
Okay. Take a motion to close the evidentiary portion of the hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the evidentiary portion of the hearing.
Okay, motion by Karen. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Brian. Any discussion on the motion to close the evidentiary portion of the hearing? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. We entertain a motion to approve the subdivision with conditions to be thought out in deliberative session
Prove the access. Not
for
subdivision.
the access to, for site plan approval and access approval with conditions to be reviewed and discussed in deliberative or executive session.
I'm gonna try that.
I just need somebody to say as so moved.
Yeah, the break.
So motion by Brian, seconded by Greg. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried. So we will get a decision out